Hello, Capricorn. So, this is your monthly reading for July 2020. And if you're new to this channel, this is Timeless Flux. My name is Sabini, and you feel very welcome. If you're coming back again, thanks for watching. And do not forget to comment, subscribe, and share a like if you enjoy the video. I'm going to explain how your reading is going to go. For this first roll of cards here, I have a representation of upcoming energies in your life and those energies that are leaving you as we enter the month of July. And in the second roll of cards here, what I have is a more pragmatic representation, a more pragmatic pieces of advice on how you could better make use of this energy flow, okay? I also have two oracle cards, okay? One from the Timeless Flux Oracle that names this channel, and another one from Universal Messages, and the opportunity at the end of your reading to answer a yes, no, maybe question. Okay, so if you want to start thinking about your question, what you would like to know, please feel free to do so. This oracle is called the Tata Inti Oracle. It's the oracle of the sun by the Inca people, and it's being energized by my crystals here. I'm going to leave it over here, okay? So for one reason or another, I'm hearing that I should really start with your oracle cards, and that's precisely what we're going to do. At first, here I have the mantle, okay? And this card is talking about protection. The sentence goes, I'm protected, I feel, and I don't have to see. Okay, so this is a month in which you will feel protected, but you'll feel protected in a sense of hearing and being more in tune with your intuition when it comes to what path you should take at each specific moment. This card talks about the first moments of contact with our intuition, and maybe the first leap of faith we're entering in and we're actually giving in order to move through our days in flow with the energy of the universe. Okay, so it's a delicate moment because sometimes you might feel as if you couldn't differentiate what's your intuitive voice talking, what's your higher self talking, and what are your traumas, your past failure talking. Okay, so maybe it's going to be hard to differentiate in the beginning, but it's very important that you start this month of July knowing that you are actually protected. So even if at a certain point you don't know the difference between intuition and blame and guilt and all of those other voices we have inside our heads, it's okay, because it's all about taking you to a next level of relationship with your own self, okay, your own internal higher self. The other card I have here is, I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose love. Let me get it so that I can show it to you. I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose love, okay? So this card is talking about how the power of love, of whatever makes you more open to other people and to yourself, is actually a very good guide when you're deciding what's coming from your intuition and what's coming from, internal noise. Because sometimes we forget that the main difference between internal noise and our intuitive higher self is that whenever we hear something that our intuition is telling us, we actually feel good. It might be hard to face, it may lead to some kind of fear, but in the end, we have a kind of very rooted understanding that this is what we need to do and this is what's better for us, because it is the path of love. Okay, so it could be tough love, but it's like in the end, that because of the aftertaste it leaves inside of you because of the good feeling you have. Okay, I'm going to learn something, even if it's hard for me to do this right now. You know that this is your intuition talking and not some kind of internal noise based on past failures or traumas. Okay, so these 2 points are going to be very important for you this month. And I'm going to now take a look at how you're seeing yourself, how you're represented here by the cards. And sorry about that, I have some Palo Santo here in order to help with the energy. Okay, so what I see here with the Justice in reverse is that there's something in your life you feel it's not fair. And it's always important to remember that whenever you're facing some kind of injustice, it's very probable that it is connected or starts with being unfair to yourself. Okay, so it doesn't mean that whatever people are doing is not unfair or not real. Let's put it like that. But it means that you could be missing a part of the puzzle because you don't see how this situation is unfair, is about you being unfair to yourself. So I'm going to give an example here and make it fit your situation. Let's say that at work, people are not recognizing your value, and you spend a lot of energy thinking about that, a lot of energy thinking about how you could actually be recognized and considered the way you'd like to be. But as you spend a lot of energy on that, you're being unfair to yourself because maybe you're not even considering that you could have extra sources of income, you could have a hobby that develops into something else, or you could even find another place that actually respects your point of view more than this current place, okay, in which you could flourish, you could experiment with different talents you have. So this card here, I see you considering up to which point injustice is out of yourself, is expressing in the external world, and what is the influence that this lack of justice has within yourself. Okay, so this is all about thinking through how much of this injustice is actually out of yourself and how you're being unfair to yourself. Okay, and this is the way I see you here leaving the month of June and starting the month of July, because in June I see that you have started charging towards probably occupational tasks. Okay, so tasks related to your job, or even hobbies branching out, but anything that relates to a career, to something that you want to see growing, you've charged in this direction, and this is what led you to feeling, to feeling that the world was biased against your intents, because you've charged with extra energy. You put your everything you had in this endeavor or this group of endeavors, and probably right now you're feeling a bit drained. I want to see if you feel like you don't have enough of a result. Yeah, it's not exactly that you don't have results. Maybe this is something that's even crossing your mind. But with this page of cups here, sorry, in reverse, what I see is that because you went for it with a lot of strength, a lot of focus, intention, with everything that you've gotten, now you're kind of drained when it comes to passion. It's like you don't remember, because of the much you've worked in the month of June, you don't actually remember as you go into July why you started doing those things in the first place. So I can already see here, this is not necessarily the only aspect in which injustice is going to present itself in your life, but I see that there is injustice, there is unfairness in the lack of balance this situation presents. It's like you've invested a lot of energy, too much energy, I have to say, too much too soon. Okay, and you couldn't exactly calculate how much of an effort you could put in your work, in your hobbies, in the activities in which you use your talents, and now you're feeling a little drained. Okay, it was too fast, too much, too soon. This is what I keep hearing. Okay, and in the future, at the end of July, I see you recovering your passion for a certain idea, a certain project that has brought a lot of joy to your life, but recently feels kind of maybe even boring, or like a lackluster, because you just invested a lot of energy. Okay, you put a lot of yourself in it, and of course it was like charging you were supposed to be running a marathon and instead you turned it into a brief run. Okay, so at the end of July, I see you recovering from this position with the Ace of Wands here, with the Ace of Swords, sorry, Mercury retrograde. I'm missing the names of all of the cards. But as you can see in the image, I see you here lifting your sword right up, which means regaining, if not all of your passion, at least regaining the inspiration to deal with your projects once again. Now let's see how you're going to do that. First, we already have the oracle saying that you need to listen to your intuition and know that everything that happens is for your benefit, because you are actually protected. And then we have the existence card, which is the magician in Osho Zen Tarot. So we are talking about you starting something completely new. Okay, I understand that for most of you, whatever you've been doing in June was really close to your heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't have charged so fast and with all of the energy you had. But the month of July is going to be about starting something completely new. Okay, starting something that has this fresh energy to it. It's not going to be about waiting for your luck to change in the activities, in the tasks that you have already dedicated to. You actually need to start something new, something fresh, something that is not yet tainted with this energy of I've done so much that now I cannot even breathe. I've done so much that now I cannot even think about how to move forward. Okay, it's the feeling I have is that you've misjudged how much you needed to dedicate to your professional activities, to your studies, and to your hobbies in June. So now, coming July, in order to regain the inspiration, even for this activity, you need to put it in the back burner a little bit and start something completely new. It doesn't have to be changing your jobs. It doesn't have to be going full on a new enterprise in order to get some money. It doesn't have to be anything like that, but maybe dedicating to a hobby or paying attention to an area of your life that has been left to the side because you were investing so much in only one path, only one way of facing your daily activities. Okay, this month is not going to be about waiting for luck to change your relationship with whatever you've been doing in June. No, you will need to be responsible for this recovery. Okay, so in many ways, this is a month about healing, but this is not passive healing. This is about dedicating to something new in order to have new, fresh inspiration. And a piece of advice I have here is that you do not have to be afraid of experimenting with new ideas. It doesn't even have to be for this month of July. It doesn't even have to be your final idea or your main project. It's just important that you refresh, okay, in a certain way. So if it has to be a hobby, if it has to be a new exercise program, if it has to be even a personal project, like I'm going to finish all of the episodes of a certain series that I have not finished, anything that you consider a worthy project. Okay, even if I see that for most of you this is actually going to be a new professional project, but it doesn't have to be the most important thing in your life. It just has to be, you just have to shift the focus so that you can feel inspired again. Okay, At the end, I see success. Okay. So, as a conclusion, in order to have success, both in this new enterprise that's going to refresh your energy and in whatever you've been doing in June that feels kind of tired right now, in order to be successful, you will need to start from a fresh perspective. And it's not only about thinking it through or rethinking the way you could make this work. No, you have to leave it to the side burner, to the back burner, sorry, a little bit. My lights almost fell through here on the table, I'm sorry. But you need to actually stop doing or stop investing so much energy on whatever you've been doing in June and start afresh with something that can open your mind, open perspectives, while knowing that you are still protected. Okay, so maybe if this is talking about a job and you cannot actually stop it, you can't stop working, you could little by little find some time to introduce a hobby or to introduce a different stream of income. Even if the results are not something to show off and to boast about in July, this is actually going to help you feel inspired. You just need to change the setting, and not only the setting, but change your activities. You need to dedicate to something different for a little while, okay? In whatever way you can, because this has drained you. And in the end, it's not fair to yourself to dedicate so much and so fast to only one aspect of your life or only one activity. So this is about diversifying, okay? But you don't need to be scared about putting energy on this new endeavor, okay? I feel that sometimes you might face a fear of failure in this previous activity if you start something new. It's like, this is not finished yet, how come I'm going to start something new? But this spread is screaming at me, you really need to refresh, you really need to dedicate to something completely new, because this is going to bring success both to your new activity, considering depending on how much you're actually able to do this month, and to your previous activity, okay? Because it's going to open your mind to different possibilities of addressing it in the future. But July is not going to be about the same things you've been doing in June. It's going to be about diversifying, okay? I hope you already have your yes, no, maybe question, because I'm going to work this dice here. Are you ready, my Capricorns? Let's see how it goes. Yes, no, maybe. Okay, this is a probable yes. This is a probable yes. And the energy is already fitting. It's already shifting, sorry. Why is it that it is a probable yes and not a full-blown yes? Because it will probably depend on how much you need, how much you're able to refresh, how much you're able to not obsess with whatever you've been doing in June, okay? If you manage to open yourself up to different perspectives and activities, don't forget that. You actually need to change your activities. It's not about remodeling whatever you've been doing. It's about doing something different so that you can see things from a different perspective. If you manage to do that, this is a very probable yes, okay? Even because this no indicator here is a bit to the side, so it's not a strong no indicator. It's just something that if you are not afraid, if you're not afraid of experimenting with new activities this month of July, it's a very, very probable yes, okay? So I hope this reading has helped, and I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed giving it. So if you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video with your fellows Capricorn, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye-bye. Have a wonderful July.